hogs are always scratching for a living. They just scratch around trying to make a living. Luckily they got a pretty thick hide because everybody they run across wants to kill them. But you know what? Some days they come across a dead calf and they're eating veal. So things are good. Hello, gentlemen, and this is the Hog Zone Christmas special. I just like saying that. Sometimes I'm driving down the road and it's Hog Zone! Usually when I blow by a car wreck, and I wasn't involved. Can't beat that, right? Anyway, guys, it's Christmas special. I haven't done a lot of videos in the last 2 years. I'm gonna let you know why. It's all good. But, gonna throw out there, flap my gums as usual, and let you all just go with the flow. And if you can take something out of my story, that's a good thing. I'm going to start this out telling you all about a hog hunt I had probably about 5-6 years ago. It is one of the hog zones. I want to tell you how I got through that hunt. Basically, it was evening hunt. Hog comes out, it's close. I made a bad shot. I hit that sucker in the liver. The reason I know I hit him in the liver is there was a handful of liver laying on the ground. So I got out of the stand, you know, I found the liver on the ground, good blood trail. It's getting dark, got the cheapest flashlight you can buy from Harbor Freight, and I'm sitting there. It's me and one other guy on the lease, and I don't like leaving stuff in the field, so I'm sitting there, and the hog took off out into the woods. So what do? You know, could have went back, got the other guy, came back and blood tracked it. So I said, you know what? I'm not going back, I'm gonna get my hog, because I don't like leaving things open, and I sure the hell don't like leaving game in the field. So I start tracking him. I'm following this blood trail, and it's a pretty good blood trail. You know, those little pieces of meat and guts, you know. So I'm following it, and that flashlight is the cheapest piece of garbage you ever seen. It's like 2 LEDs, you know, it's a 10-packer. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, keep tracking it. I get out there probably about 100 yards. Now I'm kind of committed. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know, this ain't the smartest thing to do. You know, so you're walking in the woods, got a wounded pig out here, can't see anything except for the blood trail, basically. You know, the safety director at work's going, you know, hey idiot, hey idiot, hey idiot. But the deeper I get, the more self-doubt I have. You know, it's persistence. So I'm going to say I get in there 150 yards, and I'm like, is this a smart thing to do? But I'm the type of guy, I don't like leaving stuff in the field. I couldn't go back to camp and sleep that night. You know, it'd bother me. You know, where is this sucker? Where is he? You know, I can find him in the morning, whatever. But it was kind of warm, and I wanted my pig. So I had to make a decision. What do you do? You know? So what I did is I just went all in. You know, if this hog jumps out of here, chews my leg off, and the rest of the pack eats me, well, I'm all in. That's what it was worth to me. One of those pet peeves, I hate leaving stuff in the field until it comes to a conclusion. You know, if the blood trail would have ended, I could have just went off, you know, and said, okay, fine. You know, blood trail ended, couldn't find him, I would have been satisfied with that. But it wasn't to a conclusion. I still had a good blood trail. So at that point, like I said, I'm all in. So I keep going. I keep going. I go in another 100 yards or so, and this pig, at the end of it, was like 300 yards from where I shot it. But anyway, I'm all in. Finally, I come up to a big old oak tree that had fallen, and the crown was all, you know, overgrown with brush and weeds. And guess where that blood trail went? So I'm sitting there with the cheesy flashlight. I think I only had my rifle with me. And it's like, what's behind door number 1? You know, I kind of look in there. There's no way in. You cannot walk into this stuff. I literally had to lay on my stomach and crawl on the blood trail about 10 feet into this thing. And when I finally found my hog, he was dead, thank God, but he was only about 2 feet in front of me. So it came out to a fantastic conclusion. I just kept going, and nothing could be better. Found my hog, got my hog out of there. Everything came out perfect. You know, I got lucky, I will admit that, but if I hadn't gone all in, I wouldn't have gotten to a conclusion. And the conclusion, you can never tell what it's going to be, but definitely on this account, hey, I was winning. It was perfect.
How y'all doing? This is Bo out here, Combat Archery, Lawrence, Kansas. Just above Texas, over the hills of Oklahoma. You guys have a good one out there. Merry Christmas. Hog Zone, no doubt, is the best YouTube channel around. Take care. This is Bo out here, Combat Archery. Hog Zone! Merry Christmas, guys.
Alright guys, I'm going to give you a little backstory. It relates to the story so you know where I'm coming from. Basically, I've been working for 40 years. I started working when I was 15. I still punch a clock every day. Got single income. If I want extra money, it's called overtime. That's if I can get it or pull a side job. Money just doesn't drop into my house, believe me. You know, it's sweat and tears. If you want it, you got to get out there, work for it, and get it. About 3-4 years ago, you know, you get on the internet, you kind of dreaming, you're looking around, you know, real estate or whatever. I was actually looking on Galveston Island. And I've been watching lots, you know, and they're basically all out of my price range. So I'm like, damn. Well, anyway, one pops up, and the price is right. Now, the lot had some issues with it, but it was more for an investment. I was going to buy it, sit on it for like 10, 15 years, and then either sell it off or, you know, build a bay house on it. So the deal is, you know, I talked to my wife about it, and eventually I just put her in a headlock and I dragged her down there. We looked at this lot, went over, and I purchased it. You know, I bought the lot. And so I sat on that lot for, I don't know, almost a year, I guess. And everything was fine. But one night I got to thinking, you know, I'm sitting here on this lot. You know, you have to pay taxes, you have to pay, you know, there's cost of just owning a piece of ground sitting there. So I'm thinking, you know, I wonder if I can do something with it. You know, why wait? Why not build now? So I, you know, dig out all my finances, get the wife on board, you know, I had to put her in a headlock again. And I look at everything and I said, you know what? I think I can do this. You know, if I can get the right house at this minimum size that I want, for this price, I can do this. So anyway, we get all our finances together, you know, you got to get your dirty laundry out and put all that in a drawer and, you know, box and everything, and you drag it down to the bank. So I go see the bank, go in there and say, look, here's what I got. I got this, tell me what I can afford. So the bank goes, hey, you know, you're looking pretty good here, you know, we can loan you this amount of money. Like I said, the problem is finding somebody to build it for that price. So the search is on for a builder. So, you know, we put out the feelers, the bank puts out the feelers, and most of the prices that people were coming in at, it was just like, no way. There's no way. You know, it just ain't gonna happen. So we're going along for a few weeks there, and a builder jumps up and says, hey, I can do that house for that cost. No problem, I just built 2 of them. The bank knew him. Everything was kosher. You know, everything was just fine. Everything looked good. So we agree, hey, let's build this house, let's do it. We wait, and we wait. We're waiting 4, 5 months, you know, talking to the builder, oh yeah, I'm about to get started, got to do this, got to do that. You know, we're going to get started, get your house done, all this type of thing. So finally, I guess after about 5 months, it was like, okay, look, I'm going to pull the first money, and we're going to build this house. Fantastic, let's get going. So he pulls the money off the contract, and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And it comes up to about a couple of months, maybe 3 months. It's like, hey dude, you know, what the hell's going on here? Oh, we're about to get started. So it's like, okay, you know, whatever. Then Harvey hits. So that's more excuses. You know, oh yeah, we're going to get started, but Harvey hit. You know, crews are hard to find, all that type of thing. So we go along. Well, guess what? It gets to a year. Now I'm probably just too patient, but like I said, it was not in a big rush. As far as I was concerned, paperwork signed, I'm a handshake guy. If I tell you I'm going to do something, you know, it's going to get done one way or the other, or we're going to work out an agreement where, you know, it's not. But that's the way I operate. But obviously, my builder doesn't operate. So anyway, we get to a year. It's been a year. Signed the contract to the year. Well, all my loans, insurance, and all that type of thing was for a year. My house should have been done 6 months prior to this. So, you know, the bank's like, what the hell? What's going on? So I don't know. So, builder, bank, me, have a meeting, and the, you know, so what's up? You know, well, I'm going to start. So the builder finally starts. Gets a contractor out there. My lot has a ditch in front of it. They build the bridge. They put in the pilings. Well, as the guy's driving the pilings, the contractor, for the builder, the piling guy, the contractor, he calls me. He says, hey, this guy ain't paying me. The builder isn't paying him. It's like, what? So I'm sitting there like, what the hell? So I talk to him. This starts a snowball effect. And it just turns into the biggest quagmire. Basically, the builder quits answering the phone, and I'm left with a bridge and a pile of dead trees, which is my pilings for the house. Builder's gone. He won't answer the phone. So the bank's like, oh man, we never had this. You know, this is a nightmare. The contractor, of course, he needs money. You know, he did the job. He needs to get paid. So anyway, you know, the bank goes through everything. We have 3 weeks of talking, and it's a legal nightmare. It turns into a legal nightmare because the bank's freaking out. You know, the contractor, of course, he needs to be paid, and this, and of course, the bank's like, hey, what do you want to do? You know, where are you going from here? You know, my wife even asked me. She said, you know, you think God really wants you to have this Bay house? And my personal feeling is he don't care one way or the other. Bay houses, cars, clothes on your back really ain't his big concern. He gave you a mind to think so that you can make decisions so you're not facing super hard times. Some things are out of your control, but you have a mind to get yourself out of those holes if they arrive. And this was a big ass hole, and it was very, very stressful. That's all I can tell you. Hey, okay, that was good. That was good. All right, everybody say, the Hog Zone is the best. Merry Christmas. Okay, now you sounded retarded, so if we can just do it, just say, have a Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas.
All right.
Take your gun off of us so we can sit down.
There you go. So, you know, I get my wife and I say, you know what, you know, we got to move ahead with this one way or the other. But I didn't know how, because I was at my limit, my total limit. The only way this was going to happen is for that first arrangement to happen. I didn't think anything was possible past that point. Just didn't, you know, I just wasn't willing to take the risk. It just, under those circumstances, that was it. you know, basically I thought, you know what, I'm thigh deep in it right now and I'm still sinking. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I get with the bank and say, look, I want to try to move forward, but you know, you're going to have to tell me how we can do this. So the bank goes through and they make me a list. I mean, literally a list. I have to do all these things. Basically, I have to start all over again. And of course, now the money's way different. You know, and I'm not made out of money. I may look like a leprechaun, but there ain't no golden pot of, you know, gold coins in my my fireplace here. So anyway, they give me this list. You know, I'm like, okay, well, how are we going to do this money and this? And of course, they got some creative financing things that you can do, and you know, they can stretch this a little bit, and I can do this and that. So I start knocking off this list. You know, it's just like this hog. At that point right there, I had to make a decision. Am I all in or am I bailing and crawfishing out of here? Well, I can't do that. I just, you know, I want to go forward. I want to get where I need to be. So I'm all in. So at that point, I just said, fine. You know what? I'll accept it. If this just destroys me financially, fine. I'm going to go as far as I can go to get to a conclusion. Anyway, I start pounding out this list, one item at a time, you know, one day at a time. And that's what's been taking all the time. We've been going to the beach, going to the bank, phone calls. Plus your mind is just, when you got this kind of stuff going on, you really can't think about anything else. And that's the way I was with that hog. I just had to think about that hog. I've just been thinking about this bay house. So, start pounding it out, pounding it out. I finally, you know, I had to go into lawyer land. I'm still in lawyer land. And I've never been in lawyer land, but basically everything I did, you have to write a check. You have to write a check. You have to write a check. And that's a nightmare. It's like, you know, somebody cut your artery and you're bleeding out. It's a nightmare. So anyway, I find another builder. Of course, the price has changed. It's after Harvey. You know, the price is just, it added, basically if you went to go buy a truck, let's say for 40 grand, and you show up, now all of a sudden you go, hey man, here's your loan for 90 grand. So that was definitely a hit, and I'm thinking, you know, this is impossible. You know, how am I going to do this? But, like I said, talking to the bank and this and that, I got to do this and that. We're getting there. So I find a builder, and this guy's on the ball. So the builder, you know, he gets his contractors out there, and they start building my house. Now I got to tell you, you know, I had plans for the house, and it's really actually pretty funny. There was 4 sets of plans out there. I mean, this job was so screwed up, it was unbelievable. So we're still hammering down, just from that little bit that got done, there's still residual crap that had to be worked through for the plans of the house and the pilings that were put in and things like that. So anyway, got me a new builder, and he's rocking along, and I'm hoping probably in about 3 weeks this house is going to be finished. About a month, probably end of January. It's December right now, so end of January I'm hoping this is totally to a conclusion and the house will be done. Now my point to this whole story is, as we were going along and ran into all these difficulties, you know, a lot of people ask me, you know, man, did you get mad? You know, I mean, are you mad at this guy? You know, the builder ran off with your money and all that type of thing. You know, created a nightmare effect. I never really got mad. I didn't get mad. Usually, basically, I look at my body and the times that I've actually flipped my wig, it's required stitches, it's had broken bones, and surgery. So that's a place I really don't need to be going. But I really never got mad. And it was just like, I was frustrated. My wife was frustrated that people can just be idiots like that. And hopefully that'll come to a conclusion. That's a separate issue from the house. So I just had to power through, deal with the circumstances that came to me, and move forward best I could. I'm fortunate, I'm very lucky that I was able to finagle this to be able to continue. It's not under the conditions that I originally wanted, But I'm very fortunate that, hey, I was able to find another solution to get where I wanted to be. So what's the point of all this? Not that y'all care, you know, it's just a bay house. You know, you drive down, I guess, and you see different bay houses, you know, you see houses, different houses, and you kind of wonder, a lot of people assume a lot of things. They never see the backstory of how somebody actually got something built. You know, it always seems real simple when everything's complete, you know. And I've said this before in my little Christmas special, when all this stuff hit the fan, nobody was saying, hey man, you're blessed. But I got a kind of a feeling after my house is, oh man, you got all this, you're blessed. It's just, I always just find that humorous. But I'm actually blessed. Like I said, I was able to move forward. And that's all you can kind of ask for. And my wife said earlier, you know, you think God really wants you to have this house. Well, I could have looked at it a whole lot of different ways. But what I'm taking out of this is this. This house, if Mr. Sketchy didn't walk into my life, underbid the job, and then run off with my money, this job would not have happened. Because I wouldn't have been able to find a builder to build the house for the price I wanted. You know, it was totally impossible in my mind. But he enters into the situation. Now I'm thigh deep in it. The whole circumstances, everything changes. You know, I'm thigh deep in it, and you know what? I'm the type of guy, I get thigh deep in it and I'm going to start swinging. And that's exactly what I did. So, you know what? Maybe God did want me to have this bay house. I can't really say, but I can say that here's what you thought was possible. And let me show you what truly is possible. So anyway, guys, I just want to say that's what's been going on. Hopefully everybody will be able to use this house. And that's my little story. So if you can pull something out of that, that's fantastic. Otherwise, just a story, me flapping my gums. But that's what's been going on, and hopefully I'll be getting back to a regular routine and making these cheesy videos for you. But I really wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, New Year's. Just have a good time, relax. When you're knee deep in it, start swinging. That's all I can tell you. So anyway, guys, Merry Christmas, and this is the Hog Zone! And I'll be back to being the Croaker King pretty soon. And hopefully I'll have some extra spare time to get my butt back out at my buddy's ranch and shoot a couple of hogs. Because this sucker's been dragging, I'm telling you. So anyway, guys, Merry Christmas. Well, hello, gentlemen. This is what I've been working on right here. As you can tell, I'm still under construction. You can see down the hallway and all that. Anyway, that's the front porch. And out that window down there is Galveston Island State Park. Anyway, this is what I've been working on. And so I believe in the end of January, probably in about 2 to 3 weeks, well, actually in about 3 to 4 weeks, the house should be done. And hopefully all the paperwork's taken care of. And then I can get back to some normalcy.
So we're out camping, right? The fire's all going. She looks up in the sky and she goes, "It's like HD." And I'm like, nah, this is what HD is trying to be. I'm an outsider, we like to play outside. I'm an outsider, we out here feeling alive. I'm an outsider, we like to go outside. I'm an outsider, we out here feeling alive. Spectators, yeah, that's what I call them. A whole generation just sitting around watching doing nothing. Watching doing nothing. They used to call the radio the box. Then the TV became the box. Then computers and laptops. Now everybody got a box in their pockets. And all they want you to do is just stay in that box. They don't go outside no more. All they do is this. All they do is this. All they do is this. Living life through a screen. Living other people's dreams. All they do is wish. All they do is wish. I'd be lying if I told you I ain't get your bust off them couches. Some I call them cliches, but I call them classics. I'm saying wind in your face, I'm saying sun on your skin. That sweat dripping, blood pumping, ain't no doubt I'm alive. Adrenaline rushing, I'm talking clear skies. No mosquitoes and a good fire going. Yup, that's what you call living. That ain't no doubt I'm alive, top of good living. Look man, we all dying, so I'm asking, how you living? Now I ain't gonna tell you what it is and what it ain't. If you tried enough things in life, you already know what makes you feel alive. And if it don't make you feel alive, well, what else can you call it but dying? Preach. I'm an outsider, we like to play outside. I'm an outsider, we out here feeling alive. I'm an outsider, we like to go outside. I'm an outsider.